Imagine this. You are driving home from the grocery store. You are listening to your favorite song, maybe thinking about what you're going to make for dinner. You obey the speed limit, you use your turn signal. You have never committed a crime in your life. Suddenly, blue lights flash in your rearview mirror. You pull over, confused but calm because you know you haven't done anything wrong. 10 minutes later, you are in the back of a squad car, handcuffs tight against your wrists, being told you are under arrest for a felony robbery. How does this happen? Is the system broken, or is this actually how the law is designed to work? Today, we are going to have a serious attorney-to-client style conversation about a terrifying reality: why innocent people get arrested in the United States. We aren't talking about conspiracies. We are talking about the legal mechanics that allow this to happen, and, most importantly, what you need to do to protect yourself if it ever happens to you. I'm your Sarah, and welcome back to the channel where we decode the law so you can sleep better at night. Let's get into it. The first thing we need to address is a massive misconception. Most people believe that to get arrested, the police need to know you are guilty. That is legally incorrect. To convict you in a courtroom, a jury needs proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That is a very high bar. It's nearly 99% certainty. But to arrest you, the bar is much, much lower. It is called probable cause. Probable cause essentially means that a reasonable officer, looking at the facts available at that exact moment, would believe that a crime has been committed and that you probably did it. Notice the word probably. It does not mean definitely. It does not mean they have all the evidence. It means that, based on appearances, it looks like you are involved. This is the legal gap where innocent people get caught. You can look guilty without being guilty. If this concept is new to you, subscribe to this channel. This is the kind of legal knowledge that keeps innocent people from making life-changing mistakes. To understand how this plays out in the real world, let's meet a character named Carl. Carl is a retired accountant. He drives the silver sedan. One Tuesday afternoon, Carl is driving through a neighborhood he doesn't usually visit because he's looking for a specific hardware store. He's driving slowly, looking at street signs. 2 streets away, a bank was just robbed. The witness tells the police. It was a middle-aged guy in a gray or silver car. Now, look at this from the police perspective. They are on high alert. They see Carl's silver sedan. They see him driving slowly, maybe looking nervous because he's lost. To Carl, he is just looking for a hammer. To the officer, Carl fits the description of a fleeing felon casing the neighborhood or looking for an escape route. The officer pulls Carl over. Carl, knowing he is innocent, gets agitated. "Why are you stopping me? I didn't do anything." The officer interprets this agitation not as righteous indignation, but as aggressive defensiveness. The officer sees a heavy metal object in the back seat. It's a tire iron, but it looks like a weapon. Match: silver car. Match: middle-aged male. Behavior: evasive driving. Actually, it just lost. Behavior: agitated. Actually, just confused. Evidence: potential weapon in view. Does the officer have probable cause? In many jurisdictions, yes. Carl gets arrested. Is Carl innocent? Absolutely. But the arrest itself was legally valid based on the limited information the officer had. This is the nightmare scenario. Carl goes to jail, gets fingerprinted, and has a mugshot taken, all before anyone realizes he wasn't the guy. So beyond mistaken identity, like Carl, what are the specific legal traps that catch innocent people? There are 3 big ones you need to know about. Trap number 1: constructive possession. This is the wrong place, wrong time law. Let's say you give your friend, Steve, a ride. You don't know that Steve has a bag of illegal narcotics in his backpack. Steve tosses the backpack on the floorboard of your car. You get pulled over for a broken taillight. The officer smells something or sees the bag. Here is the scary part. You own the car. You are driving the car. The law often assumes you have control over everything inside that car. This is called constructive possession. You can be arrested for Steve's drugs because they were in your domain. You might beat the charge later in court, but you were taking the ride to the station tonight. Trap number 2, the explanatory confession. This is human psychology working against you. When innocent people are accused, their instinct is to talk. They think, if I just explain what happened, the officer will let me go. Let's go back to Carl. Imagine the officer asks, "Have you been to the bank today?" Carl thinks, "Well, I drove past a bank looking for the hardware store." So Carl says, "I was near the bank, yes, but I didn't stop." The officer hears, "Suspect admits to being at the scene of the crime." Innocent people often talk themselves into a corner because they don't know what details are important to the police. They try to be helpful, but they end up providing the missing link the officer needed for probable cause. Trap number 3, administrative errors. This is boring, but it ruins lives. A warrant for John A. Smith is issued. You are John E. Smith. The dates of birth are similar. You get pulled over for speeding. The computer flags a warrant. The officer on the side of the road cannot hold court. They cannot verify your alibi. If the computer says arrest, they arrest. You sort it out Monday morning with a judge. Until then, you are in a cell. This happens more often than you would like to believe. Before we go into the interrogation room, stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to tell you the one sentence innocent people say that turns a bad arrest into a prison case. Now, let's say the worst has happened. You are arrested. You are innocent. You are placed in an interrogation room. This is where the danger level hits 10 out of 10. Police are allowed to lie to you. This is a crucial point that many seniors and honest citizens do not know. In the United States, the police can legally sit across from you and say, "Your friend Steve already told us the drugs were yours." Even if Steve said nothing, they can say, "We have your fingerprints on the bank vault," even if they don't. Why do they do this? They are looking for a reaction. They want you to panic and confess to get a lighter sentence. And here is the tragedy. Innocent people confess. It happens. It happens because of exhaustion, fear, or the belief that if I just say what they want to hear, I can go home and fix this later with a lawyer. Do not fall for this. You cannot fix it later easily. A confession is the gold standard of evidence. If you confess to a crime you didn't do, it is incredibly difficult to undo that damage. I want to be fair to law enforcement here. The vast majority of officers are not out to arrest innocent people. They are doing a difficult job with limited information. They have to make split-second decisions to protect public safety. If an officer sees a person matching a description running down an alley, they have a duty to investigate. If they waited for 100% certainty, criminals would escape and victims would get no justice. The system accepts that sometimes an innocent person will be detained so that society can be safe. That is the trade-off of the legal system. It isn't perfect, it's just the best we have found so far. However, understanding that the officer is just doing their job doesn't mean you should make their job easier at your expense. You have rights for a reason. So what do you do if you are innocent, truly 100% innocent, and the handcuffs go on? How do you handle it? Here is your step-by-step guide. Step 1. The golden rule of silence. Stop talking. I will say it again. Stop talking. Do not try to explain your way out of it. You cannot talk your way out of an arrest, but you can talk your way into a conviction. The only words leaving your mouth should be, "I am invoking my right to remain silent. I would like a lawyer." Step 2. Do not resist physically. This is critical. Even if the arrest is unlawful, even if they have the wrong guy, do not fight. If you resist, you catch a new charge, resisting arrest. Now, even if they realize you didn't rob the bank, they can still prosecute you for fighting the officer. Fight the case in the courtroom, not on the street. Step 3. Be polite, but firm. You can be respectful while asserting your rights. Officer, I understand you are doing your job, but I am not answering questions without an attorney. That is all you need to say. Step 4. Do not consent to searches. If they ask, "Can we look in your trunk?" and you know you are innocent, the answer is still, "No, I do not consent to searches." Let them get a warrant. Make them follow the rules. If you give permission, you waive your Fourth Amendment protections. Step 5. Call a lawyer immediately. Not your cousin who took a pre-law class, a criminal defense attorney. The moment you get your phone call, that's who you call. Getting arrested when you're innocent is one of the most traumatic things that can happen to a person. It shakes your faith in the world. It makes you feel powerless. But remember, an arrest is just an accusation. It is not a conviction. The system is designed to sift through the evidence and find the truth, but it takes time. Your job in that initial moment of crisis is to stay calm, stay silent, and let your lawyer do the fighting for you. Knowledge is your best defense. Now that you know how the machine works, you are less likely to get caught in its gears. If you found this helpful, or if you want to make sure your friends and family know what to do in this situation, please hit that subscribe button. We're building a community here that values truth and legal literacy. I'm Sarah, reminding you that in the eyes of the law, silence isn't guilt, it's intelligence. Stay safe, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one.